Explain why King John lost Normandy, 1204. You may use the following in your answer. Philip II of France, Chateau Galad. You must also use information of your own, 12 marks. 6 of those marks will be awarded for AO2, which is your analysis of causation. This question is all about explaining why, so you need to identify some features to make your point. That brings us on to AO1, which is your knowledge and understanding of the period. Now you can use the stimulus points given to you in the question. You don't have to, but you can. But it's also really important that you use your own knowledge to progress into the higher bands. You can find out more about all of this on the overview videos. Here are the bottom 2 bands for this question. Again, our overview video explains all of this in much more detail, but have a read through to try and decide where you think your answer would fit. Generally speaking, to score highly on this question, your answer needs to analyse the question, and that means you need to have developed points which draw in relevant evidence. It should follow a logical structure, so it should be quite easy for the examiner to understand what you're arguing, and you should also be bringing in your own knowledge. These are the top 2 bands for this question. Have a read through and try and decide where you think your answer would fit. There are lots of different reasons you could give for why John lost Normandy, and as long as they're relevant to the question and correct, the examiner will accept them. But here are some examples of points that you could have made. It's a good idea to use the point, evidence, explain structure. For example, you could make a point about the low morale of his soldiers. Your evidence could be to do with the legitimacy of his marriage to Isabella and how that undermined his legitimacy abroad. And then it's important that you explain this, so you need to link it back to the question or back to your main point. You could say that this lowered the morale of his soldiers and therefore prompted a French attack. This kind of structure shows that you've got a really good knowledge of the topic and that you've developed and you've analysed the question. Have a read through the rest of the point to see if there's anything else you could have added to your answer.